It's a good time for our semi-annual discussion of why the Dow is the worst stock index.
Yeah, I get asked about that every once in a while. Like, what should I be looking at when I'm trying to get a sense for what the stock market's doing? And
not the Dow.
My answer is always not the Dow.
So here's the deal. The Dow has two problems with it. The first is it only has 30 companies in it. And so that's just not really many companies. It's 30 of them, and obviously you've got, thousands of even publicly traded companies, but it's 30 companies. And the second problem is that it is not a market cap weighted index, but rather it is a price weighted index. And here's why this is particularly dumb. So as an example, right now, United Health, which is causing this, they're down 21% in trading today, basically because they guided that their profits are going to be much lower than anticipated this year because of their Medicare business not being as profitable as it used to be.
Yeah.
And they're basically saying, hey, we expect higher than, expected medical costs, and so that's going to, weigh on the profitability there. So United Health is down 20%. United Health before today was trading at about $585 a share. Microsoft, which is one of the three biggest companies in the world at any particular point in time, is currently trading at $369 a share, which means that despite Microsoft having far more economic activity and being more valuable by, 5x than United Health, has a weighting in the Dow that prior to today was about 60% of what United Health is. This is dumb.
Yes.
Like the Dow is an index for people who don't understand math. Because that's who built it, I think. Like, I don't know why you would build an index this way.
Yeah, it doesn't make really any sense in today's environment. The biggest example of this would be, so Berkshire Hathaway is currently, I think, the 7th largest company in the S&P 500. They are about a $1 trillion company.
Yeah.
Apple's about 3 times their size in terms of market capitalization, which is take the number of shares that are out there, multiply by the share price, there you have the market cap. Berkshire Hathaway's A shares currently go for $775,000.
That's a lot of money.
So were you to build a stock price weighted index with this, it would be like 80% Berkshire Hathaway. If you were to price weight the shares of the S&P 500, I can't even imagine trying to do this, but it would be something ludicrous where Berkshire
the S&P,
Hathaway would
be
make
all
up
Berkshire Hathaway
75% Berkshire Hathaway and nothing anything else, which I think is probably not what anybody would intend to design, which is also why the Dow has to do all these silly things like constantly adding and removing different companies from their index, because if there's a stock split or reverse split, it completely precludes somebody from being in the Dow Jones Industrial Average in the first place.
Other things that you see, just like when you talk about, how this, the construction of the Dow and companies moving in and moving out. So one of the companies that was added to the Dow in recent years was Salesforce. They were added back in August of 2020. I think it was like August 24th, I believe it was. Do you know the company that they replaced?
No.
They replaced ExxonMobil. Okay, which is, again, like, you think about it, like, ExxonMobil, like, kind of a big company, like, everyone knows them. I'm sure everyone fills up, and is like, oh, like, the price of gas is too high, like, yada, yada. Most people who are not, working in
Corporate America
probably have no idea what Salesforce actually does. It's a customer relationship management software that has, again, it's like big company, like, does some really impressive stuff and everything, but just not as well known generally. So here's the interesting thing, is that when you look over the last almost 5 years, we'll call it, the interesting thing is since ExxonMobil was removed from the Dow and Salesforce was added, Salesforce's stock is up 18%. Okay. ExxonMobil's is up 152. I'm not saying that this is like good, bad, or anything. Like, I don't know if Exxon should have still been in or not, but sometimes we get the people who text in and they're like, hey, this company's being added to an index. Does that mean like things are going to be like great for them? You have no idea. You have no idea. Like, sometimes yes, sometimes no. Like, it's all over the board. But it's also something where you sit here and you go, okay, if ExxonMobil were still in here, if it were still in the Dow would obviously be higher than if it were removed, as it is today. What does that tell you about, like, how does this actually make this a meaningful index?
Right. So I think the continued message, I know we quote the Dow on our program when we're talking about the markets, but you probably shouldn't pay attention to it. Especially you should not pay attention to the Dow when it is doing right now off 1 2/3% when the S&P is down 1/10 of 1%.